Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Week 5 for the Open Wheel Outlaws here at I-55 tonight. This is in Pevely, Missouri, I-55, Pevely, whatever you want to call it. It's the same track, owned by Ken Schrader. He bought it in 2003, I believe. One of the greatest dirt tracks in America. I know Kyle Larson still currently has the fastest track record for the sprint cars there in the World of Outlaws. World of Outlaws has been going there for a long time, since 1987. They sure like it. Hopefully these guys do too. We're not running 410s tonight, but the 360s will have to do. You saw these guys mostly up on top. You can see it in that shot right there. You can see it starting to slicken off going into 3 and 4. Expect these guys to be riding the cushion. Expect right rears to touch the wall. You know, you're going to see some guys trying the slider, some guys possibly going low, maybe later on in the feature. We know Andrew Thornton, you saw him there in qualifying. He's going to be down low. So, it's going to be a very interesting race. This is a very fast track. Things happen quickly here. You know, you got with 19 degrees of banking in the corners. These guys can really lean on that right rear, lean on that cushion, and they can keep that gas to the floor. It's going to be an exciting night. Currently, 7 guys in the field. Only 6 have put down a qualifying time as of right now. You have Heath Dyke at the top of the leaderboard this week with a 10:53. Matt Grimm, your points leader, who last week, following Ryan Avila's dominant win. Just dominant win coming from the back. He did extend his points lead a little bit over second place Sean Stevens. And that point lead is up to 95 points now. Going to be a tall task for anybody to catch up to him. He's going to have to miss a race or two, but we will see if anybody can get up there with him. So, speaking of Sean Stevens, he comes in P3 with a 10:72. Andrew Thornton is in 4th with a 10:75. Logan Mann comes in with a 10:77. LJ Moore with an 11:15. And Steven Metcalf has not put down a qualifying time as of yet. Got about a minute left for these guys to get in here. I know admins are letting it go a little bit longer, just to see if they have any last-minute stragglers before we jump into our heat races for the night. And again, guys, it will be a 30-lap feature. Just like every Friday, every track for these guys, it is 30 laps. Something we do have to mention tonight is, and you'll see their logo up here momentarily, Huckleberry Racing has sponsored the night. Thank you to those guys. I believe it's John O'Brien's team. They threw up $20 to the winner of tonight. So there is a little bit of money on the line. So Huckleberry Racing, thank you guys so much. You know, along with our other great sponsors here. Let me go ahead and pull them up. You will see those sponsors up on the board here as they get gridded for heat race number 1. Should be the only heat race tonight. So J1 Designs, your one-stop design shop, and O'Brien Mechanical Repair, your one-stop repair shop. We heard it from them couple weeks ago, I believe, where they said they can work on anything. I challenge you guys. Challenge you to go out there and find something that they can't work on and let me hear. Let me hear it. I want to see it. They say they can do anything. Well, make them prove it, guys. So, tonight's grid for heat race number 1 will be Heath Dyke on the pole with Matt Grimm to his outside. Sean Stevens in the number 3 spot with Andrew Thornton outside row 2. Logan Mann and LJ Moore make up row 3 Stephen Metcalf has not gridded yet. We will see if he does hop out there with these guys, making it a 7-car field. So guys, current ambient temp is 73. Ooh, track's going to be tacky. It is a cold one here at Pevely. Wind ain't going to play into anything too much tonight. But as you can see, the track length is 0.27 miles. So just over a quarter mile. High banked bull ring here at Pevely. Always a great time to race here. As Heath Dyke does get them going. We will have 2 laps of pacing here before we jump into a 8-lap heat race. So from experience, guys, I would say the Highline does have the advantage here. You do want to be watching for Dyke there on the low side. If he gets a good enough restart, he will jump up in front of Grimm, trying to block that run on the high side. Maybe even see him throw that slider into turn 1, just trying to keep that position. Moore did go to the pitch for some reason, but we are under green. And just like anticipated, Dyke takes it to the high side with that slider. 3 wide for P2 right now. As you have Grimm, Stevens, and Thornton all battling it out for position number 2. Contact between Stevens and Grimm. Contact between Thornton and Grimm now. They're keeping it going. As Stevens does set his sights on Heath Dyke up in the front. And like that, we get single filed out for heat race number 1. 4 laps to go. Currently, Andrew Thornton, the only one trying that bottom line. Trying to see if he can find any speed. But he's losing ground to Matt Grimm. Grimm and Stevens, the gap's closing. We might have a battle for the number 2 spot. Only 2 laps to go in this heat race. Stevens follows him into 3 and 4, coming to the line. Is he going to shoot it? Grimm running a higher line. Stevens trying to block the slider. Steven goes low once again. Drag race to the line and give it to Stevens. It'll be Heath Dyke, Sean Stevens, Matt Grimm, Andrew Thornton, and Logan Mann. Your top 5 from heat race number 1. We will have a 5-minute warm-up here. That's for these guys to go out here, dial in the setup before the 30-lap feature. So enjoy some of the sights and sounds of Pevely with these amazing 360 sprint cars. And we'll be back with you here momentarily. Richie, you forgot about it, buddy? Well, maybe next week you can come back out here and run. Currently 7 cars in session. Looks like we only have 5 out on the track. Should be a great main event. These guys have competed every week they've been here. So we're going to miss you, Richie, but we'd love to see you back out here sometime, buddy. So currently in warm-ups, it's a little bit different tale from qualifying. You see the track starting to slicken off the top a little bit. So these guys have to make those adjustments to get this car to rotate without hitting the wall. As you see Heath Dyke there just tapping his right rear to the wall. But it's Matt Grimm on top of the board with a 1072. Heath Dyke in P2 with a 1085. Sean Stevens at an 1102. Andrew Thornton at a 1109. And Logan Mann with an 1113. Everybody within about a tenth and a half of each other during warm-ups. It's going to make a great race for this 30-lap feature. And again, guys, Huckleberry Racing did put up $20 to the winner. So it's going to be interesting to see who can take home the cash tonight. Got a little bit more on the line. Of course, these guys do have cash payouts for the points. And everybody's looking to knock off Matt Grimm off that top title. So we'll have to see if he's able to secure his points lead. Week 5 out of 9 weeks. You see Andrew Thornton finding a little bit of speed there. He's right behind Grimm now. He's the only one of 2 cars in the 10.7s. So you see Matt Grimm at a 1072 and Andrew Thornton at a 1076. Andrew had a decent heat race. Him and Grimm got into it a little bit, and he got P4 in the heat race. Not what he was wanting, but with him gaining some speed now, I think he's starting to gain his bearings and might be able to challenge for the top spot tonight. Guys, if you are interested in coming out and racing with the Open Wheel Outlaws, hop in the Discord. I will be putting their link in chat momentarily. Gain your number and come run with these guys on Friday nights. We've seen some of the biggest names in dirt racing on iRacing run with these guys. Last week we did have 2 of the pro scene drivers running with the Open Wheel Outlaws at Lucas Oil. They definitely put on a master class last week. So it's going to be interesting to see if we see those guys come back for Port Royal, Lincoln, or Williams Grove. Maybe even see them back for the championship night at Lernerville. So you want to prove you are some of the best drivers out here. These guys have had them. Come on out here, run with them, and enjoy a great time. All right, guys, and we are getting into the grid for tonight's 30-lap feature. You will see Heath Dyke, your heat winner, on the pole, and to his outside is Mr. Sean Stevens. Right behind them is points leader Matt Grimm in P3 with Andrew Thornton outside row 2, racing out of Granbury, Texas. Logan Mann, who finished 5th in the heat race, will start 5th in the feature. He's got some work to do, but he's looking forward to this main event tonight. And then rounding out the field outside row 3 is Mr. LJ Moore. Unfortunately, we did not see anything from LJ in the heat race. So we'll see what he can do in the feature tonight. We will have 2 pace laps before getting going here. These guys are raring to go. And we're going to see a race where these guys are going to be pushing that cushion up top. They're going to be wanting to put that right rear right on that cushion. That way they can work that throttle and get the car rotated and keep the speed up. You will see some guys like Andrew Thornton trying to catfish that bottom, but it did not work for him in the heat race. He might have to concede and run a higher line. The 19 degrees of banking here, it really helps these cars get this speed. Pace truck will pull off this time around, and Heath Dyke will lead them to green. Rounding 3 and 4. We are on the loud pedal. We are green at Pevely. Seeing Heath take a mid-line going through as they are about to go 3 wide for the podium positions. Andrew Thornton working up on the high side of Matt Grimm. Just did not work out for him. They did make contact. We had 1 go around, but no caution as of yet. Looks like that was LJ Moore. So your top 3, Heath Dyke, Sean Stevens, and Matt Grimm. As Matt Grimm starts looking to the low side of Stevens, he was the fastest in warm-ups. Can he get around him? No, he can't, not yet. As you got a battle for the 4th position here as well with Andrew Thornton and Logan Mann. Logan Mann just riding that rim. 25 to go at the line. 10-second lap times. These guys are going to be winding down the laps quickly. Andrew Thornton not comfortable on that high side, but able to look below Logan Mann. Back up here to your top 3. Throw a blanket over them. Sean Stevens and Matt Grimm duking it out like they do every week. It's been a joy to watch these 2 battle on track. As Grimm trying to ride that cushion, gain that momentum, but loses a little bit of time on Stevens. He gains it on entry, but loses it on exit. It's like Steven, oh, we do have our first caution of the night. Looks like LJ Moore was the issue here. Let's go back and take a quick look. Oh, just not having enough laps on track. Taps the wall. It looks like he's just taking it to the pits and unfortunately draws the caution. Well, guys, 10 laps down. In a blink of an eye, you guys, we will lose the lap count. It is so blazing fast around Pevely, especially with these high horsepower 360s. But you do have Heath Dyke in the P1 position, Sean Stevens in 2nd, Matt Grimm in 3rd, Andrew Thornton, you know he loved seeing that caution, being able to get back up here on these guys, see if he can make anything work. Logan Mann is in 5th, and you have LJ Moore in 6th. Looks like he did jump out of the car. Stephen Metcalf on pit road as well. So, field of 7 down to 5 as we start getting ready for the green once again. And just like that, Heath takes off. And we are all fighting for the podium positions. Andrew gets to the high side, gets around Grimm. Now showing that speed. He looks to the low side of Stevens. Can he get 2? He can't yet. Throws the block on Grimm. But can he keep it? Andrew Thornton making moves tonight. Great battle between Grimm and Thornton. As they duke it out for the final podium position. take a ride with your points leader, Matt Grimm, as we go around this tight little bull ring. As you can see, and you can hear it, you can hear the power of these 360s. Working that throttle, working the wheel, just trying to slide as he's not making up any ground on Thornton. As you can see, Thornton trying to get up in the mix and possibly take P2 away. Great battling by the leaders as Sean Stevens works on the high side and clears Heath Dyke. New leader, Sean Stevens out of Tasmania. Heath Dyke falling back a little bit. Looks like maybe that setup isn't built for the long run. And that's allowing Thornton and Grimm to come up and try to get any sort of momentum to get around them. Throw a blanket over second, third, and fourth. As we have 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go as they cross the line. Grimm looking to the inside of Thornton. Thornton trying to cross him over, but gets the car too sideways and can't power off. Give P3 to Grimm. What can the points leader do? Can he get around Dyke and get back up there and battle with Stevens? He's running out of time. 7 laps to go. As Andrew Thornton starts dropping back, we're looking about a 0.6 of a second gap between the top 4. Each one of them 6 to the front and 6 to the back. No one really able to gain anything here yet. Nobody's found that little last piece of grip that these 360s have stripped off the track. Go back and take a look. Logan Mann, who is in 5th, still trying to work that high side. Unfortunately, he's 3 seconds behind Andrew Thornton in 4th. Grimm, P3, Heath Dyke, P2, and your leader, Sean Stevens. It's like they may have a little bit of lap traffic come into play as we are 2 laps to go. The battle to watch is between Grimm and Dyke. Can Grimm get anything on this white flag lap? Working high, he's pedaling that car for all it's worth. Out of 3 and 4, looking to the high side drag race. Give it to Heath Dyke for P number 2. It will be Sean Stevens, Heath Dyke, Matt Grimm, Andrew Thornton, and Logan Mann, your top 5. Honorable mention to Stephen Metcalf and LJ Moore, who is no longer on the track. Wow. Talk about a finish, guys. These guys put on a heck of a show, and always a masterclass to watch these guys out here on Friday nights. They do things that I just wish I could dream of. Whew. So, it looks like we do have Mr. Oh, we don't have Mr. Grimm yet. We see Sean Stevens and Heath Dyke. So we will go ahead and bypass 3rd, and we will talk to our 2nd place finisher here tonight. It is Mr. Heath Dyke. It's Ed up here in the booth. You got me? So, buddy, oh, you guys are making me work for it tonight. I'll tell you that. So, my question, and I had it last week, and I brought it up on the broadcast. I see the Australian flag. But as we learned with Sean Stevens, there's many different parts of Australia. Where are you racing out of? South Wales? Hey, that's awesome. Man, you started up front. You started falling back after Stevens got around you. Was the setup just not what you were expecting tonight?
I think the setup was pretty good all through the night. It's just
It was definitely a great... Oh, one moment here. Let's go ahead and get... So, Heath, they weren't able to hear you. So,
Yep.
If you want to go back through what you just said, it'd be great. That way our viewers are able to hear you.
Yep. So yeah, I think the setup tonight was pretty good throughout the night. I think I just struggled a bit through the slick patches of tonight. I didn't really touch the top wing. I just left it on 0, and that was pretty much it. Sean was a quicker car tonight, and I'm happy to finish where I did.
It was great watching you guys battle. I know you held on for as long as you could. Great run tonight, Heath. We'll see you next week for Port Royal, hopefully.
Yeah, that's it. I'd like to thank Blind Mania, HD Graphics. Sean has got me a lot into this stuff, and I thank him a lot for what he's done for me, and he's kind of brought me under his wing, but he's done really well. And Lismore Speedway, sorry. Yeah, that's it.
All right, guys. That was your second place finisher, Heath. And we do see him in the Discord now. Your points leader with another great night on the podium, Mr. Matt Grimm. It's Ed up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
So, Matt, you got to be happy with another podium. But I know Andrew held you up a little bit there. If he wasn't able to hold you up, do you think you could have had anything for Sean up front?
Oh, I don't know. With the mirrors on, everybody was just blocking when everyone would make a move, and I kept getting ran down, and then I let Andrew get back by me. So then, yeah, he held me up for the whole race. And just, it was kind of a bad track state. Left one lane of just sliders, and couldn't make the bottom work. Couldn't really make the complete top work yet, and it was just kind of a weird track state.
Definitely see a lot of odd slick patches out there tonight, but you ran a great race. You were able to make it up onto the podium. Coming into the night, you had a 95-point lead over Sean. That might shrink a little bit, but are we going to see you the rest of the season? And if we see you the rest of the season, man, they may not be able to catch you.
Yeah, the plan is to run the rest of the season, and hopefully we'll start getting up front here again and catch some luck. Tonight was just a bad night for iRacing, I guess.
Well, that definitely happens with the racing. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank out there?
Thanks to John for everything he does, put this on. Thanks to you for broadcasting it. I know we had a small field, but I'm sure we'll get the numbers back. Last week we had plenty of guys, so I'm sure we'll get more people back. Thanks to Keep Digging and Tight Lines Apparel for being on the car, and that's pretty much it.
All right, Matt. Well, great run tonight. Another podium for you. Definitely going to be happy about that. We'll see you next week, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks.
And back with his second win of the season, I believe, we do have Mr. Sean Stevens out of Tasmania. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yourself?
You know, you guys made me work for tonight. You guys had some great battling, but I always love it. It's been a great time watching you guys put on the masterclass you do, and watching you, Grimm, and Heath just all battle it out all night. It was wonderful.
Yeah, look, the car count was low tonight, but, the pressure was still there. So it's always good racing when that's there. And, with Matt and Heath on my tail, it's I've got to be on my A game, and you've just got to hit every mark to perfection. Can't muck up or make a mistake, because guys like them behind you, they certainly will capitalise on it. And, there goes your championship points. And, so I had to make sure my setup was on point. And, but, I still wasn't overly happy with how the car was feeling on the track. But I managed to get around Heath and find that little bit of faster line just around the top of him. It wasn't right up on top, but it was a car length off the top, and that's where I sort of felt fast. And Heath was then again a car length below that, and made it hard for me to get by him. So I made sure I got a bit of a run on him after seeing Andrew gain speed on me coming out of 3. So I decided to try the same, and I reeled Heath in and just went for the slider in 1 and 2, got him. stopped him from getting back past me, and then just pretty much I did me marks, make no mistake.
Now, we did hear Heath talk a little bit about wing angle. Were you adjusting the wing at all in car, or did you leave it all the way to 0, buddy?
I was switching between 1 and 2 clicks back, but I just felt like if I had it back any further than that, it just was no good, and I was slow. So I had to have it all the way forward and just work the throttle pretty much. Couldn't have it flat, just had to, as I said, have it forward and just work on that throttle through the corner and, power down on the straights.
So, in the last thing I want to get into here is we also heard Matt talk about the session state. We started seeing a little bit of slick spots here, but it's very patchy. What's your opinion on how the session state was for the track tonight?
Yeah, I guess it comes down to like how many cars are on track 2 running in practice. So, you get 20 cars out on the track and they're burning it up in practice for half an hour. It gets a lot more slicker than what it is now. I wasn't overly happy with how the track was and my setup was, but we made it work and picked up the points tonight and $20 too, I believe. And I'm happy with it, I guess.
Well, before we let you get out of here, Sean, and go get your 20 from John, you got any sponsors, any supporters out there that you want to shout out?
Definitely give everyone back at Wyobi a shout out. Speed Factory, Stingray Rock Tools, LCJ Carpentry, Trent Pullman Designs for whipping up this beauty. Just recently, I had it for becoming a series champion, and I've got the number 1 on it. I thought I'll chuck the 26 on it as well and run it for a little bit. And it looks good. Great to have guys like that support me, and you guys putting on the show here, people watching, thanks again. We'll see you next week.
All right, Sean, after a great run tonight, we'll see you next week, buddy. Have a good night.
Cheers, mate.
Well, guys, that will do it for Pevely. I-55, Pevely, whatever you want to call it. It's a great track either way. Low car count tonight. Wasn't what John wanted to see. Wasn't what any of us wanted to see. But you still got 7 guys out here come out and put on a amazing show. Only 1 caution. These guys just go through this track so damn quick. It's not even funny. 10-second lap times. We're talking, that's about 5-minute race if we're really looking at it. I'm sure I'm off there, but I'm good with my words, not my brain. Okay, guys, roast me in the comments as you will. We will be back next week for Port Royal. 30 laps there, another very high-speed track, a lot bigger than I-55 here. These guys always put on a great show. Can't wait to see you guys there. I'm excited for it. You should be too. Till then, guys, keep on sending it in.